last season we came so close to promotion to the Championship, getting knocked out in the playoff semi-final for the second season in a row. However, next season we have a brand new 12,500 capacity stadium, and I want to be playing Championship football in that stadium. So let's get that promotion. Welcome to the video, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 with Solihull Moors. And yes, our current stadium, which is in the average condition, 5,500 capacity. It was only built in 1998. We've been in here less than 30 years. But we are getting too big for this stadium. So if we have a look at the facilities, we are moving into our new 12,261 capacity, creatively called Solihull Moors Stadium, on the 26th of June 2028. That means by the start of next season, we will be in our brand new stadium. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. However, we have a season to be getting on with, and we've had a pretty decent start to the season, I have to say. We are top of League One at the moment. We've just gone past the summer transfer window closing. We're about to play our first game since it closed away from home against Blackpool. 5 games, 5 wins, 15 points with 15 goal difference. We have been playing very, very well. Also in the Carabao Cup, we've been getting through in there as well. We started off obviously in the first round. We're currently in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, and the Bristol Street Motors Trophy hasn't started yet. But we're in a group with Portsmouth, Southampton under-21s and Southend. But before we go through all of this on the schedule to show you how we've been doing, let's have a look at the transfers that we've done so far this season. If we go first of all to released players, these are all the players that we let go at the end of the season. It was quite a cull. Our star striker at the time, Francisco Bonfiglio, James Brown, who's a really good right back for us, Joe Sabara, central midfielder, Connor Hall, striker, Kean Spence, who I really would have loved to have kept around because he's a very good midfielder, but he's just always injured. Charles Hagan, who was our right inside forward, Dylan Wharton, who was our backup goalkeeper, Fidel Ross Lang, who was our inside forward, could play left or right, Leo Wood, another striker, Joel Shambrook, a young right back, Kean Riley, another young player that plays out the wing, I think he was, Kean Riley. Yeah, left or right wing he can play. And then some players here that they were just young players that we weren't going to, I couldn't even tell you what positions they played in. Kingsley Basil, Jordan Pardington, John Joe. He was a central midfielder. He did play 1 game for us, I think. Either that or he was on a bench for 1 game when we had an injury crisis. Martin Walton and Keith Knight. So all of those that is a lot of players. I'm not going to bother, or shall we just have a quick count up on how many players that is? 16 players we released at the end of the season. In terms of ins and outs, only 1 player technically has left as he went on a free transfer to, I presume that's a club in Turkey. Yeah, it's a club in the Turkish 2 League. Basically, he was a released player as well. And we've brought in 5. Bit not quite as many as you'd think, considering the amount we left, but we'll get to the team in a moment. But we've brought in Lucas Jensen, who is our new #1 goalkeeper. A big improvement. Well, not a big improvement. He's an improvement on Cameron Plain. Cameron Plain is now our backup goalkeeper. I'm waiting for him to get the ump. And when he does, okay, fair enough. But yeah, this guy is very decent for this level. 6'5" as well. I mean, that is what I call the height of a goalkeeper. 14 stone 2 pounds, if you want to know about the weight, while we can still tell you that. And then for those of you that watched my time with FC Tokyo, you'll know about the issue I had trying to pronounce the full name of the Reds. And yeah, he's just Edwards. So Aurora Edwards, there you go. I think I've said it kind of correct. He is our star winger, he's a star winger, but we play him as an inside forward, obviously. And he's very good. I mean, you look at the start of the season, he's had with us in all competitions. He's had 7 appearances, including substitute appearance, 2 goals, 4 assists at 7.62. He has been very decent, and I've really enjoyed having him here. If we then go further down, we've got Josh Hawkes, who is another winger for us. And again, he looks pretty decent. He's not as good as Edwards, obviously, but he still looks fairly decent. And again, he's over 6 starts, 3 goals, no assists, but 7.10. That is very, very good. Ty Soji, one of our strikers, obviously letting Connor Hall, Bonfiglio and Leo Wood go. That was all our strikers gone, so we had to get some more strikers in. And he's basically someone, he's 23 years old, he's got potential, he's 2-star current ability with 4-star potential. I'll be honest, I've not been overwhelmed by him at the moment. He's had 6 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist at 6.94. Yeah, the jury's out, put it that way. And Luis Florini has also come into the club. He can play in central midfield, he can play in the defensive midfield position, he can play as a striker. I mean, his finishing would suggest he's not going to be playing as a striker. That's not where I'm utilising him. He's more of a backup option for us in the midfield, with the likes of Kean Spence and Joe Sabara going. We need to just bring someone in there. 2 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist at 7.30 in the league. Oh, sorry, in the Carabao Cup. He's not featured for us in the league yet. And yeah, that is basically the end of the players we've brought in. It's been a transfer window where we're trying to give youth a bit of a chance as well. We've got these young players here. Plus, you look at our overall balance. We're in debt already there. We've got no transfer budget left, and we're about £300 overspent on the wage budget. And because I've got no transfer budget left, I can't do anything about that. So yeah, all told, we're £386 per week overspent on the wage budget. I don't think they're holding it against me. No, they're still telling me that I'm on course for it. And if the season goes well and we do better than, I mean, the board are saying avoid relegation from Sky Bet League One. So if we do better than avoid relegation from Sky Bet League One, they are going to be very, very happy with my performance, and therefore they're more likely to overlook the whole work within the wage budget thing. Having a look at dynamics, team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is excellent. This guy here, Ricky Dalival, he's a bit of a plonker. He's got the ump with me because he wants to be able to join Huddersfield. I mean, Huddersfield are, I mean, to be fair, no, they're in League One. So I'm hoping that if he sticks with us and we give him a little bit of game time here and there, he will then be happy to stay with us. If we can obviously get promoted this season as well, that would be wonderful, wonderful stuff. And yeah, I mean, he's played a few games. He's had 5 appearances, 7.12 as a left back that can play right back as well. We just need to give him the game time, basically. We got him from Arsenal. He's got 5-star potential. He was on loan at Dorking a couple of seasons ago. Didn't really do a great deal there. But yeah, we just need to give him some chances, basically. So if we have a look at the schedule, friendlies are what they are. We're actually now affiliated with Wolves. We were affiliated previously with Birmingham, but once we got put into the same division as them, that affiliation got terminated. So we're affiliated with Wolves. They are still in the Premier League, because if they drop into the Championship and we go up into the Championship, then that affiliation will end as well. As part of the deal with them, we can loan players from them if we want, but we also have to have we can have a pre-season friendly. We might as well. We get some gate receipts for it. Why not? And yeah, that was the only one we lost. And it was 5-4, by the way. It was a very good game. And we played our reserve team in this game as well. Cameron Plain, Dallowell, McEntee, Craig, Howell, etc., etc. That was our backup team. Right, let's have a look at the tactic. I mean, it's the same tactic. We haven't changed the tactic. But just take you through some of the players that we've got and who we line up with. So we've got Lucas Jensen in goal. We then have Joe Newton and Jay Ben, I mean, they were quality for us last season. They really were. I mean, we go to Jay Ben, have a look at his stats for last season. 3 goals and 12 assists at 7.12 from 36 appearances. And Joe Newton, who I believe has been here since this save started. Yes, he has. And last season, he was no goals, 9 assists for a 6.98. Sounds a bit rubbish compared to Jay Ben, but Jay Ben is on the attacking duties. That's why he gets more of the assists and all that. But yeah, very good. Then we've got Jake Rooney and Oliver Tipton in goal. as they were last season. So the only change to our back five is Luke Jensen, the goalkeeper. In midfield, there's no change in midfield. Our first choice midfield is Antwi, McArdle and Dixon Bonner. We were never going to change Dixon Bonner or McArdle. If an option come up to find someone better than Cameron Antwi, we would have done, but he's pretty decent, to be fair. I like our midfield. Our midfield was not an issue last season. We have got a complete change up front. I haven't set my stall out in terms of who our number one striker is yet, because I really don't know. But we've got Hawks out on the left, Edwards out on the right, two very good inside forwards, one on attack, one on support. And then, like I say, we've got Ty Soji, who we brought in as an out-and-out striker. He's not really impressed me. So Tyrese Hullett is another striker we have. He can play left and right as well. He's 18 years old, 5-star potential. He's come through our youth team, and we've decided to give him a couple of games up front at the moment. He hasn't scored in the league. He did score in the Carabao Cup, but not in the league. He's currently had 4 appearances, 1 goal at 6.70. So Hullett, one of the youngsters from our academy, as is, McArdle's not from our academy. He's one of the players we bought in from another club. I think it was Arsenal we brought him in for. Then when we go to the bench, Ricky Dallowell is, like I said earlier, is one of the youngsters we have that we brought in when the Premier League clubs released their young players, that's the same as Ryan McArdle as well. Where did McArdle come from? Yes, it was Arsenal. We do quite well with former Arsenal players. Oyster McAtee as a centre-back, Cade Craig as a centre-back can play on the left as well. Ahmed Hassouri, he's one of the youngsters we brought in from Manchester United. 3-star current ability with 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. The problem we have with him is he can do the Mazzala role. The advanced playmaker role he can do. He's the same kind of rating as he is for Mazzala. But the problem we have with him is that's where McArdle and Dixon Bonner sit. So we're kind of trying to give him some game time off the bench, but also occasionally rotate one of them as well. In terms of his start to season, 8 appearances, 6 as a substitute. In the league itself, he's had 5 substitute appearances. He's scored 2 goals. And altogether, he's 8 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist at 7.04. He does look a really good player. And I'm kind of looking at it thinking that if we end up moving on Dixon Bonner or McArdle in the summer, then he's basically ready to slot straight in, isn't he? McArdle currently has a transfer value of 1 to 1.5 million, and Dixon Bonner has a transfer value of 2.1 to 2.8 million. So we could make a real tidy amount of money that would set this club up for a little while if we sell one or both of them players. Looking further down, we've then got Muzalowski still here, Soji is here, Teddy Rose stayed, Finn Howell, Richard Farrell is another player that used to play for Arsenal. We then signed him. We want him to be our main striker. The issue we've got with him is he doesn't know how to stay fit. I mean, I think he's just about fit now. He's literally just come back from yet another injury. But 2-star current ability with 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. That was 5-star potential, but I think his constant injuries that he's getting and lack of training and whatever has knocked that down somewhat. He can play in the midfield as the Mazzala or the advanced playmaker, but we're training him up as a striker. And then Tabang Timani is another former Arsenal player. 2-star current ability with 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. He's a 6-foot centre-back. Can play with both feet. He's preferred right foot, but he can play with both feet. And he's a player that we've brought in from our under-23s as well. So and then there's Lewis Florini as well. So as you see, we've got a lot of trust we're putting in the players that we got in on free transfers from Premier League clubs and all that sort of stuff. Because basically we need to start looking at the fact that as we go up through the leagues, once we get to the Premier League, I mean, all of these may well be gone by then. But we do need to start looking at the fact that we need to have homegrown players within the club. So I'm trying to set that out early and hope that by the time that eventually does happen, if it does happen and if I'm here for it to happen, we're in a good position for that. I don't want to be in a position like I've been in other saves, like with Dortmund, for example, and things like that, where I've got no decent youth players and we're just in a lot of trouble. If we have a look at the Dev Centre, as you see here, under 21s is an average squad. Our under 18s is a strong squad. If we have a look at the under 21s, I mean, it's not much of a squad. We are trying to pad it out as of when we can, but some really good potential players in our under 21s. If we have a look at our under 18s, some good potential players in there as well. That obviously they're all very, very young. I mean, Kirk Purcell, for example, he could probably, I think I'm actually going to move him over to the under 21s. He's 18 years old. He should probably be in that group by now anyway. Adam Willis, I think we can probably move him over as well. Let's go to squad. Oh, is he in the under 21s? Okay, I'm a bit confused here. Adam Willis. Oh, he's in the under. So why is he in the under 18s if he's in the under 21? Okay, I am a little bit confused by that. But anyway, that's the future me to deal with. I'll deal with that another time. But yeah, we are getting a youth team, both under 18s and under 21s, padded out and with some fairly decent talent in it already. And I believe, we need to go to the schedule, don't we? I was about to end the part one then. Right, so in terms of it, I mean, look at this for a start. We started off the season with Wigan in Sky Bet League One, a 1-0 win. Ty Soji did score in that game, thankfully, on 24 minutes. Then we played Swansea in the Carabao Cup first round. They are a championship team. Eighth. Is it eighth? Yeah, eighth in the championship. A 4-0 win in that game. Jake Rooney with a goal, Elijah Dixon-Bonner with 2, and Oliver Tipton with 1. Then Port Vale at home in the league, a 4-2 win. The first goals we conceded of the season. Ryan McArdle, Tipton from the penalty spot, Muzalovsky and Ahmed Housawi with the goals in that game. Then an away game against Colchester, we blew Colchester off the park. I mean, to be fair to them, they did have a player sent off after 2 minutes. But yeah, we won that 6-0. 2 goals from Josh Hawkes, 1 from Dixon Bonner, 1 from Tipton from the penalty spot again, 1 from Rooney and 1 from Edwards. Then came Bolton at home in the league, a 3-1 win in this game. We did go 1-0 down through Gethin Jones. But then Oliver Tipton's awesome. He scores quite a few goals. I can't remember how many he got last season, actually. Let's have a quick look at him. 5 goals last season. He's already on 3 in the league this season. He's got 4 in all competitions this season. He has been very good for us. Josh Hawkes and Elijah Dixon-Bonner. Very strange game because all 4 of the goals in the game came in the first half. But we saw it out and we won 3-1. So that was nice. Then we had West Brom in the Carabao Cup second round. A 2-0 win in this game. Howe and Muzalovsky. I play my backup team in the Carabao Cup. Sheffield Wednesday came up next with a 4-0 win. McArdle, Antwi, Edwards and Hossawi. And then we had Southend most recently in the third round of the Carabao Cup. Southend are a League 2 side, chasing promotion by the looks of it. Muzalovsky, Florini getting a goal from the penalty spot and Hullett getting the goal as well. And we play Blackpool next. We have Portsmouth in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy next. In the Carabao Cup fourth round, we play Sheffield United, who are lower half championship team at the moment. So that's how the start of the season is shaping up. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, can we continue the start we've had? And can we get ourselves into a position where automatic promotion might be a possibility? Minimum for me is the playoffs, but I hate the playoffs after the past 2 seasons. So let's see if we can get automatic promotion. Hopefully we don't just fall off a cliff and end up mid-table or fighting relegation or anything stupid like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're a much better team than that. But where will we be by the end of the January transfer window? This season has been incredible. I can't even find the words for it. As you can see on here, not only are we top of Sky Bet League One, we also had a dream away game in the FA Cup against Manchester City that made us nearly £1 million. It was incredible for our bank balance. We'll get to the finances shortly. We're also in the final of the Carabao Cup, and I don't even know how we've managed to do this. I really don't. But we've beaten Newcastle, we've beaten West Ham, by the way, I also had a offer of a job interview from West Ham, who are currently bottom of the Premier League. But yeah, they approached me for a job interview. I did go to the job interview because I just wanted to see if this game is mad enough to actually give me the job. It wasn't. Andrei Shevchenko got the job. But what was really weird about it is that not only did we go for an interview with West Ham, we went for the interview probably about a week or two before we actually played them in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and they rejected us. And then, like I say, we played them a week or two later, and we've knocked them out. And I'm speechless. I really am, because this season has been such an incredible season. I can't even find the words for it. Let's have a look at the schedule first of all. In terms of transfers, we'll get to those shortly, because we have had to sell a couple of players. We've not bought anybody, but we have had to sell a couple of players because of how bad our finances were getting. At one point we were insecure. Now we are okay. But anyway, you knew what happened in the first part of the season from the previous part of the video. We then went on and played Southend. So in terms of the Carabao Cup, we'd beaten Swansea 4-0 and West Brom 2-0. Both championship teams. Swansea currently are 14th in the championship. And why does this reset itself again? Right. And West Brom are currently 4th in the championship. So this is going to annoy me if it's going to keep resetting every time I click onto a game. But then, yeah, we play Southend. They're actually in Sky Bet League 2. So that's the only game we've played of a team that's in the equivalent division or below in any of the, or in the Carabao Cup anyway. We then played Blackpool in the league and we beat them 4-0. We then played Portsmouth in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy Southern section and we beat them 2-0. A 1-0 win against Peterborough, a 3-1 win against Wimbledon and a 3-1 win against Stockport in the league. Gave us an incredible start to our season. We then suffered our first defeat against Portsmouth in the league, 1-0 win at home against them. Then we played Walsall, a 4-3 win there, followed by a 3-1 win in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy against Southend. Then a 3-2 win away from home against Fleetwood in the league. We didn't lose against the MK Dons. We've actually played them twice this season in the league already, and we've drawn 1-1 on both occasions. So we haven't beaten them, but at least we've halted our losing run. It's now 10 games we've played against them, and we haven't beaten them. We've lost 8 and drawn 2. But I class that as progress. And hopefully after this season, we're not going to be in the same division as them. Then we played Preston and beat them very comfortably 4-0. Huddersfield were next up and they beat us away from home, a 3-2 win for them. Then we played Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup 4th round, and they are currently 7th in the championship. All these teams will be playing, hopefully, next season, if and when we get promoted, of course. Then our FA Cup run started, and we played Hampton and Richmond and won that 3-0, a very, fully rotated squad. And again, even in the Carabao Cup, this game here, we played more of a regular first team. There was some rotation in there, but some also first teamers. But all the other games in the Carabao Cup up to this point, we've been playing a fully rotated team. Then we played Burton Albion, lost against them at home 2-1 in the league. Notts County, we beat 3-0. Then we played Southampton under-21s in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. We won that 5-2 in a very insane game. And a game where, again, we played a pretty strong team in that game as well. Then we played Charlton in the league and lost 3-0 before drawing 2-2 with Exeter. And then Oxford United were up next, a 2-1 win in the league. Then, Exeter, we drew 2-2. Yeah, then Oxford, we won 2-1. Exeter again in the league. I think one of them had been rescheduled. I think it was this first game had been rescheduled. We then beat them 3-1 again. We then had 2 cup games, an FA Cup second round game against Boreham Wood. So the FA Cup has given us some pretty nice ties. Hampton and Richmond, Boreham Wood, very nice indeed. Both home games as well. We beat Boreham Wood 4-1. We then played Bromley in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, Southern Section, second round, I think this was. This was knockout stage. And we beat them 4-2. Then came Lincoln, and we lost 1-0 to them. At Plymouth, we drew 1-1. Wrexham, we beat 3-1. Then we played Newcastle in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, and a 3-2 win in this game. And this was insane because Ryan McArdle gave us the lead on 42 minutes. And then he put us 2-0 up 1 minute into injury time at the end of the first half to make it 2-0. And then there was 3 goals in 2 minutes, or 3 goals in 3 minutes, I suppose, where Jadon Sancho pulled one back for Newcastle to make it 2-1. Marvin Wattau then made it 2-2 a minute later. And then a minute after that, Edwards got the third goal for us. And we then managed to hang on. And we played so well. There's McArdle getting a 9.2 in that game. Our goalkeeper, Lucas Jensen, got a 7.9, pulled off some absolutely stunning saves to keep us in this game at certain points. And yeah, we managed to put it back, and I just couldn't believe it. Obviously, I just assumed we was going out against Newcastle, even though we were at home. They're a Premier League team, and they're actually doing pretty well in the Premier League. They're 5th in the Premier League, so they're doing very well indeed. And yeah, we just pulled the result out of the bag. We got the win. And yeah, I don't know what to say because I'm just like so in disbelief. Then we played Portsmouth and drew 1-1 against them. Then Walsall, I mean, that's the craziness of this, isn't it? We beat Newcastle 3-2 and then we go and draw 1-1 with Portsmouth. But anyway, they did beat us early on in the season. So at least we got a result against them there. Walsall were next up, a 2-0 win in that game. Then the second game against the MK Dons where we drew 1-1. Fleetwood, then we moved into January. And January is basically just a month of cup games. We had 3 league matches, but it was basically all about the cups. And it was just, it's the most insane month I think I've ever had in my entire life playing Football Manager. Fleetwood, we beat 2-0. Then we had Norwich in the FA Cup third round. Norwich, a Premier League team as well. They're currently sitting in 14th in the Premier League. We drew 1-1 with them at home. Then we played Portsmouth in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy third round and beat them 1-0. Then we played Norwich away from home in the FA Cup replay and we beat them 3-1, winning on aggregate. Winning the replay 3-1. And yeah, that put us through to the 4th round. Then we played Huddersfield and won that 4-1. Then we had the first game. So it must have been, we played West Ham on the 19th of January. So it must have been around the time we played Norwich in the replay that we got the rejection from West Ham. Either that or the first leg, maybe, around that area anyway. But yeah, then we played West Ham in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg and we lost that 1-0 and that was the home game. And at that point I was like, okay, there you go. Our heroics in the Carabao Cup has finally come to an end. Then we played Manchester City in the FA Cup 4th round and boy did we need this because at one point we were like $1.5 million, or I think it's something like 1.2 million, 1.25 million in the red at this point. And by the time we finished playing them, we was about 200,000 in the black. Like I say, we made about £1 million just from this one game alone. And boy, did we need it because there were Oliver Tipton, for example, wanted a new contract. I tried to offer him a new contract, but I couldn't offer him enough money because we didn't have enough money. I've had to sell a couple of young players just to get some money into the transfer budget so I can move it into the wage budget. So, yeah, we really needed a game like this against Manchester City. And thankfully we got it, and thankfully we got the money as well. Then we played the second leg of the game against West Ham, and we beat them 2-1. It was what Elijah Dixon-Bonner, it looked for the life of it that it was going to peter out into a 0-0 draw. But then Elijah Dixon-Bonner with a goal in the 87th minute took it to extra time. And young Richard Farrell getting a second goal for us on 113 minutes, making it 2-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. And that's what's put us in the Carabao Cup final. We don't know who we play yet. It's either Arsenal or Manchester City. They've not played their semi-final at the moment. But if we click on the Carabao Cup, if we go back... No, I didn't want to go back a season. I wanted to go back a match day. Give me the semi-finals. There you go. So at the moment, Arsenal beat Manchester City 2-0 in the first game. So it looks at the moment as though we will be playing Arsenal in the final. And after the game against West Ham, then came Peterborough in the league, which we drew 1-1. And we're now about to play Charlton Athletic in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy quarter-final. Obviously, that's a trophy we're defending as well, because we are the current holders of that. So we're out of the FA Cup. We've got a Carabao Cup final to come in a couple of weeks' time. And everything's just going better than I could even possibly have dreamed of. I've never had a seat. I've never got into a Carabao Cup final with a League One team in my life, and I don't know how this team has done it. It just shows you how good they are. They are such a good little team. And yeah, we're 3 points clear at the top of League One. We have a game in hand over Preston, who are on 60 points, and we have a game in hand over Peterborough, who are 6 points behind us. After that, we've got like 3 games in hand over Huddersfield, Lincoln, Portsmouth. We've got 2 games in hand over Charlton. Because of obviously our cup heroics, we've played so many games in the cup that we've not played as many league games as we'd want to play. If we have a look at our defensive record as well and our attacking record, 31 goals conceded in 30 games, just over a goal a game, and 69 goals scored, just over 2 goals a game. In terms of this, MK Dons could be getting relegated this season, and I hope they do, because then that would put two leagues between us if we get promoted. We'd be in the Championship and they'll be back down in League Two. Good. Right, in terms of finances though, at the moment we've got 161,000 in the bank. We do hemorrhage money, we absolutely do, and that money we got for the Manchester City game, it brought us back, as you can see there, £282,000 into the black again, but we will end up in the red, and we'll probably be close to £1 million in the red by the time the season ends. We just need to hope that we can get some decent money at the end of the season and before the new season starts, and then hopefully with our new 12.2 thousand seater stadium, we start bringing in some more money next season as well. But these cup runs, honestly, they have saved us, because I think without them, I dread to think, because like I say, at this point here, when we were £1.4 million in the red, and then you look at it, it just went straight up to £282,000 in credit, so to speak. Yeah, it was like £800,000 or whatever, £600,000, whatever it was. But that was a lot of money we made from the FA Cup. We have got transfer budget again now, but we were in a position where we were overspent on our wage budget, and I loaned out a couple of players to bring us just under the wage budget. But then because of new contracts we had to offer, like for example, Elijah Dixon-Bonner was in the last year of his contract. We were approaching January time, and if I didn't offer him a new contract, then there was every chance that a team from outside of England, like somewhere in Europe or wherever else around the world, would have come in and actually snatched him away from us. And I wanted to make sure we could tie our best players down. If we have a look at our squad and at the contract expiry, we still have quite a few of them in actual fact. That if we go away, if we just have a look at this, we still have 8 players that their contracts run out at the end of the season. Cameron Plain, I'm not overly concerned about, because he's a backup goalkeeper. I don't know if he's even going to want to sign a new contract. There's also the likes of Ty Soji and Muzalowski that's got a bit of talent as well. Maybe not so much in the current ability, but they do have potential. We will probably be letting all of these players leave at the end of the season. But like I say, we offered contracts for about another 8 players. So we had about 16 players losing that were about to leave. So yeah, we had to give contracts out. We did give contracts out, but it also meant we were overspent on our current and committed spending. So in terms of the transfer market, we didn't offer anybody out. They were sales that just naturally came in. Joshua Gordon was the first one. We had an offer from Cardiff. The total offer was around 120,000 when it first came in. They were offering something like £20,000 up front, then the rest of it on instalments. And after scoring so many league goals and all this, we just upped it to £100,000 up front, plus we left the rest of it in. I didn't have any desire to sell him. He's a very talented young man, 4.5-star potential. And yeah, they accepted the £100,000 that we demanded. And there's also a 30% sell-on clause as well. So if Cardiff make money off of this young man, then we will get 30% of that. Scott Lund is another one that's gone to Rotherham for £100,000, rising to £125,000. And again, he's another very talented player, 4.5-star, 2-star current ability. The whole point of having these players in our squad, because in all fairness, he doesn't look like he's really going to make it for us. Same with Gordon as well. The whole point of having these players is if we can make money out of them, we make money out of them. It's how we're gonna, it's what we're gonna need to do to survive, basically. And yeah, there's a 40% sell-on clause for Scott Lund as well. So again, if Rotherham sell him and make a bit of money, then we get a nice little chunk of that. Nobody has come in, as you can see. If we have a look at our youth preview, it's previewing to be an average intake. I'm not going to hold out any hopes that we're going to get anyone worth looking at. It'll probably be enough to be able to pad out our dev centre, but yeah, it's not looking hopeful. It's not a particularly good youth intake there. If we then have a look at the dynamics, we've got excellent team cohesion, as you would probably imagine. We've got good club atmosphere. I mean, you'd like to think that was better than good, to be fair. And excellent managerial support. Lewis Florini feels his current asking price is too high. He's probably right, actually. Let's sort that out now. I mean, I say sort it out now. The transfer window's closed. There's not really much point. But what would he consider to be a... Oh, there you go. So he considered £150,000 as an asking price to be fine. I think his contract runs out at the end of the season, so I don't really know why I'm doing that, to be fair. Yeah, it does. So he'll be leaving on a free at the end of the season. He's come in, he's done a bit of a job for us. He's got a couple of goals in the games that he's played. If we have a look actually at the stats for our players so far this season, in terms of goals scored, we've got it here. Where are we? So I can at least see the players. Elijah Dixon-Bonner is our top goal scorer on 18 goals this season. He is such a good player. He really is. Then we've got Ty Soji, who scored 16 goals and 4 assists. Our new striker that we brought in, he's been doing really well. I do want to keep him at the end of the season. I will offer him a new contract at some point. But as you see, in terms of the league, 13 goals, 4 assists at 7.04 from 25. That's 17 goal contribution in 25 games. He has been really rather decent. He really has. And then after that, we drop into single figures. But goals get spread around quite a bit. Ryan McArdle has got 9. Oliver Tipton, our centre-back, has got 9. John Hawkes has got 9. Richard Farrell, our young striker, has got 8. He's finally overcome the injury issues that he had at the beginning of the season. And in terms of the league, he's got 2 goals in 10 games at 6.85. He's kind of shone more in the cup competitions than anything else. 6 goals and 1 assist in 8 appearances, 4 starts, 4 subs, 7.58. He's been a very decent cup player for us, really. And then if we have a look at assists, you've got John Hawkes on 16 assists for the season. You've got Ryan McArdle on 10 assists. I mean, Ryan McArdle, again, one of our young players. We've got him signed down till the end of 2029, the 2028, so the end of next season, basically. And he's getting better and better all the time. 3.5-star current ability. He might not get any better, but he could get up to 4.5-star of current ability as well. And yeah, you look at his last season, he had 19 goal contributions in 41 games. He's got 11 so far in 27. He is just a really good young player. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. We'll go back to the competition screen. We'll probably we have had some horrendous injuries this season as well, which I'm quite surprised has not come back to haunt us. But September, October, November were just ridiculous. December was a nice month, and then we're back to what we were last season with January. So yeah, injuries are what injuries are. I've stopped moaning about it as much now because it's nothing I do is going to solve it anyway, put it that way. So anyway, we'll move over to part 3 of the video. We've still got to see if we can defend the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Can we actually win the Carabao Cup? I mean, every bit of logic in me is saying no, we can't, but every bit of logic in me said we wouldn't be able to get past Newcastle, we wouldn't be able to get past West Ham, but somehow we managed to do that. So who knows? More importantly though, this is the key bit, can we get automatic promotion to the Championship, or are we going to have to endure the hell that is the playoffs? We are promoted to the Championship. We've won League One with 102 points, 46 games played, 31 wins, 9 draws, just 6 defeats, and it's been a great season. I'm still speechless from what I was in the previous part of the video. We also won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. We beat Preston in the final. And yeah, we retained our little trophy, basically. We're not going to get the opportunity to defend it next season being in the Championship, but at least we did. During our climb up the divisions, we have won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy on 2 successive occasions. You're probably not going to be surprised to hear, or maybe you are surprised, we didn't win the Carabao Cup. Arsenal did beat us in the final 3-0. It was a fairly comfortable performance for them. Martinelli getting 3 goals in 11 minutes, basically, which wrapped up the cup for them. So yeah, congratulations Arsenal, they're the Carabao Cup champions. And it dawned on me just as we was about to play the game actually that if we was able to pull off the upset of upsets and beat Arsenal in the final, we would have actually been in the UEFA Europa Conference League thing next season as a newly promoted championship team. I mean, that would have been mad, wouldn't it? That would have just put the cherry on top of the cake, really. But anyway, if we have a look at the schedule, the last time you was with us was just before we played Charlton. We beat Charlton in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy quarter-final 4-1 at home. Then we had a couple of away games, Wimbledon where we won 3-1 in the league and Sheffield Wednesday where we won 3-2 in the league. Then Stockport were up next at home, a 4-1 win in that one. And Blackpool at home at Damson Park, a 2-2 draw in that game. We have been given a bit of game time as well to a right inside forward, Capel Richardson, who, as I say, plays on the right-hand side. He's 19 years old. We got him in from West Ham a couple of seasons ago. And yeah, he's actually been pretty decent for us in all competitions. He's made 8 appearances, 6 starts, 2 sub-appearances, 2 goals and an assist. And in the FA Cup itself, he made 1 appearance, scored a goal and got a rating of 7.10. So yeah, he's definitely one for the future for us, without a doubt. Then after the game against Blackpool, we then had the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. Like I say, 3-0 defeat, 3 goals from Gabriel Martinelli, 90,000 people in this stadium. I'm assuming the 7,574 were our fans. That's who they consider to be away fans. That could be an indication of how many people we get into our new 12,000-seater stadium next season. Then we played Notts County in the league, a 3-2 win, followed by a 2-2 draw against Charlton Athletic in the league. And then Port Vale up next at a 3-0 win against them. Preston in Sky Bet League One, a 2-1 win against them away from home. We then played Plymouth in the semi-final of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, winning that 4-1. We then played Bolton and lost 1-0. I mean, I don't really know how. Did we lose to Bolton earlier on in the season as well? I'm just trying to find where Bolton are in it. I've got a feeling we might have lost to them already. Oh no, we beat them 3-1 last time. It feels like it's something that's happened already. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with this team. Then we beat Burton 4-1, a 2-1 win against Wigan and a 2-1 win against Colchester, all in the league. Then came the Bristol Street Motors Trophy final. We beat Preston in the final 1-0. Then around this time, I'm not sure if it was this game here. No, it wasn't this game here. So it must have been. So we beat Plymouth 3-1. But then against Lincoln, I decided to start playing Richard Farrell in the midfield. He'd made a few subs appearances in the midfield. So I thought, we'll give him some starts there, see how he gets on. And he actually done really well. He scored a goal in this game. He scored as well in the 3-1 win at home against Oxford United. And then we played Wrexham on the last game of the season. He didn't score in that one, but Ryan McCardle did get a couple along with Elijah Dixon-Bonner coming on as a substitute late in the game. A 3-2 win against them, which, as you've already seen with the table, leaves it looking like this. In terms of goals, we have nobody in the top goal scoring list, but Josh Hawkes has been sensational with assists, 19 assists for him this season. And yeah, it's been a very, very good season, not just in the league, but like I say, also in the Carabao Cup and the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. I'm perfectly happy only getting to the 4th round of the FA Cup. I say only, that's actually a good achievement for us. The big game against Manchester City. If we have a look at the finances, we're currently £500,000 in debt. We are, of course, paying a monthly £115,000 a month bank loan off for the debt that we've got. We were originally £14 million net debt because of this bank loan, and yeah, now we've got it down to 13.1 million. So yeah, it's we've got 9 million remaining. We've paid some of it off already, and we're getting there, put it that way. But that is one of the reasons why we're hemorrhaging money, because we got nearly £1 million for the game against Manchester City, and we also got nearly £1 million for the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. that was a mixture of gate receipts, but the actual amount you get for winning it, I mean, Arsenal received £100,000 for winning it. We got £50,000 for being runners up. That's pennies, really, in football terms. But presumably we must have got something towards gate receipts or something like that, because we did end up about 850,000, I think was better off. I think if you combine the Manchester City and the Carabao Cup money we got for just them two games, basically, the Carabao Cup final and the Man City game, it comes to around 1.7 million. So if we never got that, then I'd be very scared as to what the situation would be at the moment. Our finances are okay. They were insecure at one point in the season. When you look at the projections, they're going down for, 1.44 million down at the end of next season. But then we are projected to start going up. Obviously, the fact that we're in the Championship next season, I'm expecting it to be a very, very tough season. I don't think there's going to be any heroics like we've seen previously, where, like with this league, we went straight into this league and we got into the playoffs. We finished 6th in our first season. Then I think it was 3rd in our second season. Now we've won it in our third. I think it's going to be a season of struggle next season. If we have a look at our squad, I have been giving contracts out to players. There are others that are set to leave. So at the moment, as we look at it, we are set to lose 7 players. I am still uncertain about a couple. I'm looking at it thinking, do I give Cameron Antwi a new contract? He could be useful in that defensive midfield position. Ty Sodji has been our top goal scorer this season. He has got 18 goals in the league in 38 games, plus 5 assists at 6.95. He's got 25 goals and 6 assists in all competitions. And when you look at him, he does still have a little bit of potential to go as well. So I may still offer him a new contract. McEntee, again, I'm umming and ahhing about him. He is a useful centre-back. Is he Championship level, though? Florini is definitely going. Joe Newton, again, I'm uncertain about, because he's actually very good for us. I mean, you look at his numbers, it doesn't really do him justice. He's not on the attacking side, but 7 assists and 2 goals for us this season. He has done very well. Musolowski will definitely be going, and Finn Howell will definitely be going as well. But that is all stuff for next week's episode. I think what we'll do now is we'll go over to the end of season review and take a look at that. Okay, so before we get to the end of season review, just a few emails that have come through that you always have to get through at this stage of the season. The supporter profile, the supporters' influence on the board is moderate, 3 stars. We've gained 14.1 thousand social media followers. The hardcore profile supporters have stayed the same at 8%. Core has gone down to 26. Family has gone down to 27. Fair weather has gone up to 13. Corporate has stayed at 1%. And casual at 25%. It'd be interesting to see if we get more corporate once we get a new stadium, which is only a couple of months away now. Then we get to the vision and expectations meeting. End of next season, attempt to avoid relegation from the Championship. Fine with me. And the training facilities. We requested training facilities to be improved, youth facilities and youth training facilities. They said no to the other two, but they have said yes to training facilities. So we got in there while we still have money in the bank. So they should be improved, because at the moment, if we look at the club info screen, we have below average training facilities. We have good youth facilities, average junior coaching, but basic youth recruitment. So if we can get that up, I'm going to try my best with the youth as well. 2 lovely Bristol Street Motors trophy. We'll have a Sky Bet League One trophy in there as well. Basically, all the trophies they've won are what they've won since I've been here. They're welcome. Squad dynamics is looking good. End of season team meeting. Right. Basically, this could be a tricky one. I'd like to talk about chances of Sky Bet Championship next season. We're not going to say we can stay up comfortably. We need to say we're going to avoid relegation, or attempt to avoid relegation. You've all done brilliantly to get us promoted, and even though we'll probably come back down, I'm going to give us the best chance of avoiding relegation. But no, I think they like to hear that I'm going to stick with them a little bit. You've all done brilliantly to get us promoted, and even though we'll probably come back down, I'm going to give you a chance to fight as hard as possible against relegation. Might go with that one. I'm so happy with our season. Promotion was fully deserved, but I will have to strengthen the squad. They might get worried they're going to lose places. Before you all go away for a well-deserved break, I just want to let you all know that I'm not planning to replace any of you. We'll go with this one. There you go. They're happy with that one. That's exactly that's all for now. We'll leave them with a smile on their face and go on their little holidays to Corfu or the Costa del Sol or wherever they go for their little holidays. And yeah, that is basically the end of that. We're on an end of season break now, which is the perfect time to go to the end of season review. We've just brought in Gary O'Neill as a coach, current Wolves manager in real life. So I know that's not part of the end of season review, but I think that's quite a coup actually. Right, let's get on with the end of season review. There's our two trophies, the Bristol Street Motors Trophy and the League One Trophy, of course. Right, let's get into the new arrivals and have a look at what has been a success and what's not. All of them in on free transfers, so I won't keep repeating it by saying they're all in on free. Josh Hawkes was the first one that came in. For me, he's probably the sign of the season. 14 assists, 14 goals, 25 assists at 7.1, 39 goal contributions in 57 appearances. Edwards has been given the sign of the season at 7.07 for 7 goals and 11 assists. I don't know how he's got sign of the season. For me, it's Josh Hawkes. Ty Sodji was a pretty good success. Well, both Sodji and Edwards coming in from Millwall. 54 appearances, 7 as a sub, 25 goals, 6 assists at 6.93. Lucas Jensen, our goalkeeper, in from Notts County, 58 appearances at 6.91. Hassawi in from Manchester United, 15 starts, 36 sub-appearances, 6 goals, 4 assists at 6.88. If he didn't have Elijah Dixon-Bonner and Ryan McArdle in front of him, he would be a first choice by now. He is very, very good and he's only 19 years old. Lewis Florini, he's done a job for us. He'll be going at the end of the season, but he's done a job, 25-year-old midfielder. Tabang Timani, in from Arsenal, 21 starts, 8 sub-appearances, no goals, 2 assists, 6.79. He's 18 years old. He's very promising. And yeah, he's been looking pretty decent when called upon. And yeah, that's the players in. In terms of the players out, there's the only big money sale, really, I suppose, is Joshua Gordon and Scott Lund, who we had to let go to help balance the books. But yeah, Fedor Roslang, he's had a good time with Cavalier, whoever they are. Jordan Pardington has gone to Dartford and has enjoyed life. Dylan Wharton, not really featuring for Cheltenham. I think that just about shows his level. Joel Shambrook has gone to AFC Telford and has had a pretty decent time of it. Francisco Bonfiglio went to Walsall in League One. 20 appearances, 6 as a sub, 3 goals, 2 assists. He's not particularly done a great deal. Makes me feel better about letting him go. Leo Wood, I mean, is he still unavailable? He is. Leo Wood is still unavailable. And who else is there? Let's have a look at the rest of them. We need to go to transfers out. Joe Sabara, Connor Hall, Kean Spett. None of these have got clubs. James Brown. I am surprised that none of them have got a club somewhere. That seems really bizarre that they've not got a club anywhere, but they're gone. Right, season to remember in terms of League One. First, we've got a new stadium. I can't wait for this new stadium. I'm so looking forward to it. FA Cup, memorable game against Manchester City, beating Norwich as well after a replay. The Carabao Cup, this is just insane. Swansea in the first round, West Brom in the second round, Southend in the third round, Sheffield United in the fourth round. Then in the quarterfinals, we beat Newcastle 3-2. Semi-final, 1-1. 1-1? Was it 1? I can't remember what happened there. But either way, we put West Ham out on penalties or after extra time or something happened there. And then we lost to Arsenal in the final. So, yeah, runner-up. I still say now, I think it's the greatest achievement I've ever had in the history of Football Manager. Then in Bristol Street Motors Trophy, winning all the games in that, won the competition, retained it. Lovely, lovely stuff. The biggest win was a 6-0 win against Colchester away from home. Josh Hawkes getting a couple, Dixon Bonner, Tipton from the penalty spot, Rooney and Edwards also getting on the score sheet. Match to remember was a 4-0 win against Preston, and the goal of the season was from McArdle in a 4-1 win against Burton Albion. Moore's central defender McArdle shows his class by scoring an effort from 21 metres, which curled past the goalkeeper. It was like from the left-hand side, curled it into the right-hand corner. It was a very nice goal as well. In terms of, now this seems bizarre, that we've lost money on broadcast revenue. Sponsorship has gone up by, about 140,000. Broadcast revenue, we got to a Carabao Cup final. How has their broadcast revenue gone down? But somehow it has. Corporate and hospitality has gone up by a little bit. Competition prize money has gone up by a little bit. And matchday and commercial and retail has gone up by a little bit. I say a little bit in the context of Solihull Moors and League One, it's gone up by a lot. In terms of the merchandise, Newton, Rowe, Edwards, Dixon Bonner and Hassawi leading the shirt sales. I imagine with Hassawi, a lot of that has come from Saudi Arabian purchases, basically, because that's his nationality. £257,000 made in merchandise sales, non-domestic sales amounting to £25,079. Shirt sales, 3,364 shirts sold, and as we said, these are the ones that sold particularly well. In terms of our best 11, only 2 of them have not got a 7 or better rating. That's our goalkeeper Lucas Jensen and Cameron Antwi, our defensive midfielder. Probably the 2 positions that struggle the most to get decent ratings in this game. But yeah, the best 11 says Jensen in goal, Newton and Ben out wide. I mean, our other guy, Ricky Dewali, I think his name is, he's got a shout for being in one of these positions, I tell you. Rooney and Tipton in the middle, Antwi, McArdle and Dixon Bonner there, Hawks and Rowe there with Farrell. I would have said Edwards here. I mean, if Edwards is not even making our best 11, how is he the signing of the season? It don't make sense. Make it make sense. In terms of the accolades, we've got a couple of record breakers. Josh Hawks has broken the record for the number of assists in a season with 25, and Tyrese Hullett is the youngest goal scorer, 19-year-old striker. He scored a goal on his 18-year and 129th day on the planet. In terms of player awards, Elijah Dixon Bonner, highest average rating. Richard Farrell, the youngest player of the young player of the season. Sign of the season was Aurora Edwards. Said it. Goal of the season was Ryan McArdle. Top goal scorer was Ty Sodji. Most assists was Josh Hawks. Most player of the match awards was Josh Hawks with 6. Elijah Dixon Bonner, the highest average rating, and Oyson McEntee, most passes completed per 90 minutes, done 67 of them. I won a couple of Manager of the Month awards as well, as I should have done. Once Solihull Moors got rolling midway through the season, it looked hard to stop them going on to this success. A remarkable season for Solihull Moors really began to pick up speed in the middle of the campaign. They are deservedly going up, says Dale Stoker of the Daily Star, no less. We really are hitting the big time. We've played 300 matches as well. And yeah, that is pretty much it. We've received £723,000. I mean, ain't really done a great deal for us there. Let's move forward a day and see if that actually does do something for us. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, okay. I thought we might have been in the positive for bank balance, but obviously not. Right, that pretty much brings us to the end of this week's video. And don't forget, next week, not only are we in the Championship and probably going to struggle, but we also get a new stadium, and I cannot wait for that. Join me for that one next week. I'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.